Right, so I'm doing another recording of my muck about with my rather ridiculous Mandelbrot sculpting thing that I wrote in JavaScript. It certainly lags the browser in the Oculus Quest quite a bit. Um, Presumably just because to start off with, there's so many cubes in the space. Um, so here it goes doing its. So the way I wrote it is obviously there's a kind of animation loop in the code, and probably the most sensible way of doing it would be to go through the whole area and calculate um, one loop for every single point in each animation loop. But and that would make the whole thing a lot faster to sculpt and render and everything. But I kind of what I was playing about with was this effect of having a little cursor go along. So every single time that white cube visits one of the other cubes, it calculates just one step for that point in the graph, as it were, when calculating the Mandelbrot set. So that's why it's sort of initially it's kind of sculpting out almost a circle, not quite a circle. Um, and in the first version I had, it would visit every single space every time. It would go round and round and round all the time. So of course I was wasting, kind of deliberately, but wasting time visiting a cube that doesn't exist anymore for each animation loop, which just made it a bit boring to wait for. So this version changed it so that for each animation loop, it goes hunting for the next non-removed or non-exhausted cube. So yeah, the way it's going is, for every point it visits, if the calculation escapes towards infinity, it just removes the block. If it hasn't escaped towards infinity after 20 iterations, it kind of considers it exhausted. So going around this first one almost. There's little things I could obviously do to speed it up more, because pretty much any block I calculate down here, the same calculation basically works for up there. So if I remove a block down here, I could remove the mirrored block up there, that kind of thing. But that didn't seem like a fun way of doing things. Why I wrote this, I don't know. I was dabbling some more with 3JS and what do they call it? WebXR or so? I can't remember the name of it. But they're stuff for doing VR on a web page and everything. And the thought occurred to me, oh, why don't I throw out a big square of cubes and then do a Mandelbrot set calculation, removing cubes as I go, and end up with something that will look like the classic shape of a Mandelbrot set. Okay, so this is going to take a while. As I say, it's not exactly fast in the Oculus's browser. I should try this. There we go. So it's actually going to start getting way quite a bit. Can I take a step back? So this time around, it should start taking on the classic shape some more. But yeah, I should try doing this on PCVR. Perhaps it be a bit more responsive. Of course, the actual speed at which this, what I've called the cursor, moves and does the sculpting is down to how fast the actual animation loop is in the framework that I'm using in 3JS. I'm guessing that's actually intended to be a fairly constant time. I haven't actually looked at that because, of course, I'm guessing you wouldn't want the animation loop to be faster on a machine that performs better, because then you're not going to get um, you're not going to get the same results in, if you're developing a simple little game or an animation or something like that. Presumably each frame in that loop is about the same speed. There we go. So it's going to get faster and faster. But just the general moving my head, at least earlier, I was finding was very laggy, and so it was actually slowing it down just because there's so many cubes out. I feel like I should add a sound to this, like as each cube gets eaten. Should be like a little chomp sound or something. Make it a bit like Pac-Man or something. Okay, starting to get even more of a classic Mandelbrot set shape now. It's so weird though that I've kind of written this code, dabbled with it, sort of more in 2D as it were, on my MacBook screen, and then to just put on the headset and view the same web page in VR and have this thing be in 3 dimensions and there in front of me in my living room is kind of cool. I think I said on Twitter yesterday, this makes me feel like my first year or so when I was mucking about getting to know microcomputing, programming in BASIC on my VIC-20 and all that kind of stuff. And it was just all so new and so much fun. And this kind of feels like that. Getting there now. Must be almost done. So as I say, each one of these there we go, it's finished. Oh, ah, I've just realised there's kind of a bug in in this. So you're not going to see it, but I'm actually moving my head around a lot, like an awful lot. But the whole world is moving with my head, so I just nearly fell over. Because I did make a small, I'm not seeing the controllers in front of me or anything like that. I did make a small change such that once I'd finished sculpting the Mandelbrot set, that it would stop redrawing the scene. But of course, in doing that, it's not redrawing the scene, taking into account the fact that I'm moving my head and moving my controllers and stuff like that. So I'm actually looking down at my feet now, but still looking where I was, and I'm looking straight up. And yeah, that's slight bug. I need to fix that one. Right.